ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study with Brahman. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning I am going to speak a very important subject in spiritual life, as well as from the perspective of education, the development of a person. Human being needs development. Only human being, not any other beings. This concept of development is not there in animal. From this concept of development, the concept of evolution comes. So, why we need our development? Each one of us, we need or we try for our development. But unfortunately, if we ask any person, what is your concept about development? What do you think about development? What is development? What is a development of a person? Immediately somebody will say, yes, he is a successful person in life. He is earning a lot of money. He has huge education. He is the top CEO of some software companies. So this is our concept about development. That means this person is developed, and obviously he has a beautiful reputation in the society. He is very polite, he is very helpful to others. So this is our concept. That means that a particular person is evolved and he is successful and he is a developed person. This is our concept of development. And if you connect it with this general concept with some kind of scientific theory, The first theory you will connect with this, the famous Darwin theory. The struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. This is the scientific theory you can connect with this concept of development. And it is obvious that we work. What is the cause of our working? For our development, sustaining our life. And sustaining of our life means, we live in a comfortable way. If we ask anybody, say that we don't want too much, but we just in a moderate, sophisticated way we want to live. Now, unfortunately, it is very difficult to keep a boundary or ceiling. What is sophisticated living? So sophisticated living is different for different person. And when it will end, we don't know. And we always try to increase our boundary of sophistication, our limit of sophistication. First step, second step, third step. So that is uncontrolled. We do not have any control. So, and we strive for that, we work for that, work hard. So, struggle for existence, and obviously, those who are strong, those who are fittest, they will survive, they will thrive, and they will win the competition. So, this is a kind of competition. From our school days, preschool days, we enter into a competition, and the whole life is a competition. And the scientists, they say, yes, this competition is not bad, because through this competition we evolve. So this is a kind of evolution process, development process. So this struggle is a kind of development process. It is necessary for human evolution. Well, it sounds very logical, very good, and we appreciate that. But let us see the great scientist ever, Einstein, what he says on this. Very interesting. Einstein says, Darwin theory of struggle for existence and selectivity connected with it has by many people been cited as authorization of the encouragement of the spirit of competition. Some people also in such a way have tried to prove pseudo-scientifically the necessity of the destructive economic struggle of competition between individuals. But this is wrong, because man owes his strength in the struggle for existence to the fact that he is a socially living animal. As little as a battle between single ant of an ant hill is essential for survival, just so little is the case with the individual members of a human community. The point what Einstein wanted to describe is that this struggle for existence is for a whole race. It is good. It can be applied for a whole race, human race, or some creed, it can be possible. For individual, for intra-social system, it is not applied. We are living in a society. Shall I fight with you? So in a society, the struggle for existence is not applied. As a human race, yes, it is applied. Or as a tribe, as a creed, okay, at the most it is applied. But it is not applied in a intra-society system. Secondly, competition produces anxiety. In the individual, we can see that lot of suicidal case when result out or something, unsuccessful people, lot of educated, unsuccessful, highly qualified, unsuccessful people, they commit suicide. So it is kind of anxiety, frustration. Secondly, it creates some attachment. So I can explain in one of my practical experience. So I used to give Gita class on Thursday here. So some young students or some young, sometimes they appear in the class. So one day, one young girl, she was sitting there, and coincidentally I was teaching third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga. So I was explaining Karma Yoga, and obviously the basis of Karma Yoga, especially in Bhagavad Gita, is non-attachment. Now after the class, I asked, if you have any question, please come forward. Then that girl immediately, spontaneously asked me this question. I work in a corporate sector, and always in our training, official training, etc., our bosses, they always say that we must be passionate towards our work. So we are learning how to become passionate towards our job. But you are telling detachment. It is completely opposite. I am confused. Well, so the point is this: unless you are passionate towards work, the people, the management gurus, they say it is very difficult to develop or to get the success. But the more you will become attached, the more sorrow, sadness. This is the thumb rule. If you foul in the penalty box in a game, what will happen? You are awarded a penalty kick against you. So exactly in the same way. And the passion is not connected with the success. If we think very carefully, this passion is not connected with the success directly, even indirectly. This is a different subject matter. I shall not go to that. But the passion or too much attachment to the work brings us anxiety, and it leads to the existential psychological problem. Thirdly, in modern success, it is measured in economic terms. How much money you have. Or, you see, this summer I want to go Hawaii, that summer I want to have some cruise trip. So this kind of thing means the success depends upon the money. So yes, he is a successful. See how successful person, and he is going everywhere. So this is success is connected with the money. But such a person, now if we think the development and valuable person, what is the valuable thing in you? If you ask yourself, what is the valuable thing for me? The thing that will give you more, isn't it? That is valuable for you. Money is valuable because money gives us more. What is important in your life and what gives you the maximum, that is valuable for you. Now, these people, those who are successful person, so-called successful person, they are taking from the society, taking from us, but enjoying themselves. Do you think these people are valuable? Let us go to the Einstein again. What Einstein is saying in this context. Therefore, one should guard against preaching to the young man success in the customary sense as the aim of life. For a successful man is he who receives a great deal from his fellow men, usually incomparably more than corresponds to his service to them. The value of a man, however, should be seen in what he gives and not in what he is able to receive. Another great quotation of Einstein. 100 times every day I remind myself that my inner and outer life is based on the labors of other men, living or dead, and that I must exert myself in order to give in the same measure as I have received and am still receiving. And Bhagavad Gita is always preaching this. And this is Sri Krishna a new term. He gave the yajna. In ancient time, there was fire sacrifice, The fire sacrifice is called in Sanskrit yajna. So yajna means you are offering oblations in the fire, and in return you are asking for something. It is called sarga kamo jajeta. You are holding this fire sacrifice to go to the heaven. Sarga kamo jajeta. Putra kamo jajeta. So they are conducting this fire sacrifice to have a son. So these are the way. That means they are putting the oblation, and in return they will get something. This is the bottom line of fire sacrifice in Vedic age. Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gave a new message on the basis of this giving and returning. And he called it yajna. Obviously, yajna is the scientific term. What is yajna? Sri Krishna propounded. Sri Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita that, you see, just Einstein said, we are taking from these, we are taking from nature oxygen. We are taking from nature everything. So in return, we have to give something. And this cycle is going on. See, we are taking oxygen from the plants, trees. And we are exiting the carbon dioxide, and they are taking carbon dioxide. So it is a balance, it is a cycle. Sri Krishna told it yajna chakra, evam pravartanam chakra. This chakra, this wheel is going on. If we think, you can find a cycle here. We are receiving, we are giving. We are receiving, we are giving. In every aspect. In your workplace, you are giving your work, you are getting money. So in this yajna chakra, this universe is running always. We have no right to stop this. Do you know, I can give you an example, you can understand better. In a huge grandfather clock, you see there are small wheels. They are rotating. And ultimately, a big wheel is rotating. Exactly in the same way. We are the individual or the small wheel. We have our own yajna chakra. But ultimately, this whole cosmic yajna chakra is going. So if you see, we have our contribution to the cosmic yajna chakra. This is the new concept Sri Krishna gave in Bhagavad Gita. And it is called yajna. So, the thing is, attainment of high degree of our, but you can contribute only then if you have something. If you do not have something, how can you contribute? So, development within and contribute to the society. In technical term, it is called self-actualization. If you go through Abraham Maslow, the hierarchy need, you can find the self-actualization. So at the top, the self-actualization. So, attainment of the high degree of inner enrichment and fulfillment, and the contribution to the universal life far in excess of what one receives from it. These then should be two aims of a meaningful life. Develop yourself and contribute what you are giving. If you do not give what you are receiving, Sri Krishna says it is a sin. It is a sin if you do not give what you are receiving. So, this is called self-actualization. Unfortunately, we cannot find this practice or culture of self-actualization in Western studies. In Western studies, only partial things were researched. Take the example of Jean Piaget. For instance, he focused his attention chiefly on the learning process. Only learning process, self-development. Then take the example of Freud and his followers. They focused attention only on emotional development. So not the idea of self-actualization. A self-actualization is a kind of total development. But in later centuries, we find a new psychologist group emerged. They are called humanistic psychologists. As for example, they are starting from Jung. You know, Jung was the disciple and the colleague of Freud. So starting from Jung and then Adler. Adler is also a disciple of Freud and worked with him. So Jung, Adler, and then afterwards Alpert, Maslow, Carl Rogers, they are the humanistic psychologists. They started accepting this concept of self-actualization. And they started propagating this. It is now widely recognized that and not only that, see, all these Freud disciples and colleagues, they became, most of the disciples, they became these humanistic psychologists. They took one thing from Freud, and which is supported by Indian philosophy, and that is all power is hidden in unconscious. Freud was the only person first who developed this concept of unconscious in the Western field. So all the powers are hidden, thus our unconscious is our storehouse. Only in the conscious level we find the tip of the iceberg. It is kind of iceberg. So 1% is top of the surface and 12th is below. So that is the controller. If you go through Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the whole thing, the whole Patanjali Yoga Sutra is based on this concept, the unconscious. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra, in Indian scripture you cannot find the psychology. Patanjali Yoga Sutra is the psychological book, the basis of psychology in Indian culture. So you can find the storehouse and all creativity, tendencies religious striving and symbolization comes from our unconscious. So self-actualization is necessary. So it is by tapping and harnessing of this creative, life-giving power of the unconscious that humanistic psychologists have termed also the self-actualization. So if we harness, tap our unconscious, the power of our unconscious, that is called actually the self-actualization. And the Western thinkers, they stop there. Why? It is because there is no any other personality beyond that. But the Indian philosophers and prophets and spiritual persons, they did not stop there. It is because the basic concept of human personality, there is a difference between the basic concept of human personality between the East and West. The basic concept of human personality for the East is dichotomous or dichotomous. Means it is two, body and mind. But according to Indian philosophers and spiritual personalities, the human personality is trichotomous or three, body, mind and Atman. And Atman is completely different from body and mind, separate entity, who is only witness, not participating directly with the body and mind, but Atma's presence is required. Consciousness is required. Without consciousness, human being is dead. But directly, consciousness cannot do anything. Body and mind is required. If there is electricity, you cannot do anything. You must have some wire, fittings, etc. Then only you can utilize the electricity. So, the Indian philosophers, along with this self-actualization concept, develop yourself and contribute. Yajna Chakra. Along with that, they conceptualize the inner development, the intrinsic development. Now it is well known that human being, they have two halves of the brain, the left half, the right half. We know there are two worlds, the external world, the internal world. If there is one is absent, we call it partial. That is not total, that is half. Secondly, self-actualization cannot give you the sense of total freedom. A judge, fully developed brain, very complicated case, a judge can decide. But that judge is completely novice to deal with his wife. So development means not the complete. Self-actualization means not the total development. So Indian philosophers, they said that unless you have the realization of self, you do not have the total development. Self-actualization develops your brain, develops your mind, develops your body. This is all about physical development, extrinsic development. Then, for this freedom, total freedom, the Indian philosophers, they strived for that, they worked on it, and they found the way to total development. And again, that is transcendental. Because Atman, the concept of Atman is subjective. That is transcendental. You cannot experience that through your senses. It is because it is subjective. We cannot see our face. We can see our face by the reflection from a mirror. That is our face, at the same time that is not our real face. That is reflection only. So, we cannot see our subjective thing, we can see the reflection. But we cannot see any subjective thing. Self-effulgent. How can only you can aware of that? You are sitting here. Am I aware? I can see you, separate from me. But your awareness that I am sitting here, can I experience that awareness? I cannot. Only you can experience that awareness. I am sitting here. Can you see that awareness in anywhere? You can see your physical reflection from a mirror. You can ask anybody, am I sitting here? He will say yes. But you are aware that you are sitting there. Can you prove that? That awareness? You cannot express that. It is because only you can say, yes, I am aware that I am sitting here. So, subjective thing we cannot prove. It is transcendental. Beyond our senses we can experience that. Through our senses we cannot experience that. That is called transcendental. Transcendental means we can experience that beyond our senses. So, subjective is beyond our senses. And that is called self-development. So, self-development means self-actualization plus self-development. These both are called total development of a person. Now, Swami Vivekananda understood it. I would say around 130 years ago. And he explained it in this way. He said that education is the perfection already in man. So education, what he tried to mean, education is the perfection already in man, the perfection. So he tried to mean the self-actualization. By education, we can have the self-actualization. Again he said, A religion is the divinity which is already in man. See, if you compare these two definitions, you can find only two words are different, means only one word is different: perfection and the divinity. So by perfection, he tried to mean the self-actualization, which is extrinsic. And by divinity, which is already in man, he tried to mean the self-development, which is realization of Atman. Now, combining these two is the total development of a man. And from where he got this concept? He never borrowed it from anywhere else. When we justify something, Indian scripture say that when we should establish one concept, we have to give you two things. One is logic. And second, we have to prove that logic from the scripture. One is called yukti, another is called shruti. Shruti means scripture. Anything I would say that will not be accepted. So I have to prove the same thing from the scripture. Yes, authenticate. Some people, they know it, so they have to authenticate it. Yes, what I am saying is correct. So, it is not Swamiji established it by yukti, by logic. But he took and he established the authentication from the scripture also. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, if you see chapter 4, verse number 3, which says, Nimittam aprayojakam prakritinam varana bhedastu tata kshetrikavat. Nimitta aprayojakam. Nimitta means cause. It is a Sanskrit, but I can explain you. Nimittam. Nimittam means cause. Aprayojakam, unnecessary. So cause is unnecessary is for prakritinam. Prakriti means the nature. For Prakriti, cause is unnecessary. Cause cannot do anything directly to Prakriti. So what they are doing then? Varanam bhedostu. They remove, the cause remove the obstacle of Prakriti. And then what happens? Kshetrikavat. Kshetra means field. It becomes like a field. What is means by field? That is why in Indian scripture, if you go through the verse, you cannot understand anything. You need some commentary. Unless there is commentary, you cannot understand this. You cannot study it individually. It is difficult. Parampara. Teacher will teach you. Then you can understand, you interpret that, and then you will teach another. So it is coming from parampara, the succession. Teacher after taught, then guru, shishya, like that. This is the succession. So here it is said, in the farmer's field. Kshetrikavat means field. In the farmer's field, if there is water logging or something else, then farmer has to remove the obstacles and then water will go. or from a tunnel. There are different tunnels, water channels. So they generally put some obstacles so that water will not flood in the paddy field or somewhere. But when they feel it is necessary, they remove the obstacles, then water will come. Exactly in this same way. In our mind, there is obstacles. We are not getting the knowledge. When education, that is the cause, removes the obstacles, then like a flood, water, the knowledge enters into our mind. So see, manifestation of the perfection. So when it comes, that is a self-actualization. When the knowledge comes in our mind, but it has to be kindled. What Atman is doing, Swamiji says, all knowledge is within you. What does it mean? When knowledge is coming, we have to enlighten that through our Atman. Otherwise, we cannot understand that. So obstruction is there. When education removes our obstruction, then we can fill with knowledge which will come like a flood. That is self-actualization. Enlighten ourselves. And then we have to keep running the chakra, the wheel, Yajna chakra, the universal cosmic wheel. That is self-actualization and development. For that, we have to learn and go through for the self-development or the enlightenment through spiritual path. So that is the total learning and development. So education, that is the real education. Education conceived as self-actualization is the process by which perfection of Prakriti manifests itself. Whereas religion conceived as self-realization is the process by which divinity of Atman manifests itself. So self-actualization is only objective education, and self-realization is the subjective education. If there is only one, there will be no total development. And together they bring about the total development of a person. Thank you. Do you have any question? Yes, please.
Swamiji, so can a person be passionate and still be unattached?
Yes. These two are contradictory. Passionate and unattached. It is a little bit difficult, means self-contradictory. The point is this. Passion doesn't mean unsuccess. If you are not passionate, that doesn't mean you cannot do the thing well. Let me give one example. We know very much that here mothers are there, so many, and they cook very well, you know. These people, they cook, and you will get the taste of it after this lecture only. I invite you all to have. They cook very well. So, I am sure sometimes when they cook, they listen to different devotional songs, chantings, and all other things. So they are not fully passionate with their cooking, but they are doing well. A truck driver, is listening music at the same time he is driving. So passion doesn't mean that unless you will be passionate, you cannot get success. It is completely wrong. Passion only gives us attachment. And if you are passionate, it leads you failure also. And most of the cases. Because you are too attached, engrossed with the work. And most of the cases, when we will become passionate towards our work, we only see the goal, not the means. So Swami Vivekananda, in one of his Karma Yoga lectures, he said, work and its secret, try to concentrate on the means, not to the goal. If your means are perfect, your goal will come. First. Secondly, what is our driving force? This is not passion. Our driving force is our creativity. Human being, every one of us, we want our fulfillment. We want to fulfill ourselves. And this fulfillment comes from creativity. If our creativity is hampered, we do not feel fulfillment. That is why there is a lot of discontentment in workplace. Why there is discontentment in workplace? It is because they are not fulfilled. Their creativity is checked. Unless we fulfill, this creativity is our dynamic force, not the passion. Our workforce, our dynamic force of doing work is our creativity, our fulfillment, not the passion. Think it well. You can understand this. We are passionate, we are engrossed with this, we love it. It is only attachment which will lead us to sadness and sorrow. It is our creativity. Unless creativity is there, take the example. An artist, either painter or the music artist, if you ask him or her to perform whole night, they can perform without tiredness. Because it is their creativity. But if you ask this person to do any other work the whole night, they will say it is impossible, I'm tired, I'm not possible. Why? Because the fulfillment is not there. Creativity is not there. It is not connected with passion. Any other question, if you have? And try to be, try to be fulfilled in this way. Must be contained and fulfilled. It is called santosha. Containment is called santosha. It is one of the very important aspects in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Yama niyama. In niyama, santosha is very important thing. In our spiritual life, this containment is very important thing. Yes, please.
Yes, Swami. My question is related to two things. On one hand, we have the human development that we focus a lot on achievements and civilizations and everything. But on the other hand,
Again, see, just one thing again, very specifically. Do not mix with success and goal. Success is not goal. Our goal is total development. But success is some achievement. Success must not be our goal. And again, I have said, if you go through the external achievements or external thing, that the highest thing is self-actualization. And the external thing. Self-actualization means develop yourself and contribute your portion. Run the wheel, cosmic wheel. This is real self-actualization. Now please ask the question.
what would be the obstacle that prevents us also developing at the same time spiritually, knowing that our true essence is Satchitananda?
Yes, definitely. There is many obstacles. Actually, I can remember that few months ago I delivered a talk, The Obstacles in Our Spiritual Life. If you can remember, try to remember that. I delivered a talk, that obstacles in our spiritual life. Definitely obstacles are there, and come to this Patanjali Yoga Sutra teachings. Remove that obstacles by education, spiritual education, and it will come. Yes, please.
Swamiji, you talked about the success and goal. Like in human society, we are having successes and there is competition. How will the mankind develop if we are just, just focusing on the adya?
You have to know it. As for example, you have heard it, contemplate it. You just think on it, contemplate on it, and then try to meditate on it. Then only you will be transformed. Now you are accepting all these things as an information. Okay? So you have to, Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful example, that you are drinking milk. That's fine. Now you are drinking milk. But not only that, you have to digest that. So you have to digest this milk. Digestion is not everything. Through this digestion, this component, this healthy component, it will merge in your body, your body will absorb the strength, the essence of that milk. Then only you become fulfilled. So, you are only drinking. You have to digest that. Then you have to assimilate those things and, absorb those things in your consciousness. Then only your transformation of consciousness is required. Unless we can transform our consciousness, nothing is going to happen. We are listening these lectures. If transformation will not come in our consciousness, then what is the use of it? If you know, yes, truth is good, but you are not applying that, even though you are a very good person, this concept, we have some misconception here. We are a very good person. We never tell a lie. We help others. Does it mean it is spiritual? Our concept of spiritualism is this person is very good person, always truthful, and help others. And behavior, everything is very good. Do you think it is a spirituality? Swami Vivekananda gave the example. Cow never tells a lie. Wall never steal. But wall is wall. Cow is cow. They are not spiritual. Spirituality is a completely different thing. Good, but see, those things are necessary to become a spiritual person. Those are essential things to become a spiritual person. But if you have those things, that doesn't mean you are a spiritual person. We have to understand it very carefully.
Is that what you call can and become taboo?
No. That is a different thing. Let us finish it now. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnuvat Sarvastarotu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantim Apnuat Shantamucchete Bandhebhyo Muktaschanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. We have some announcements. Next Sunday, June 18th, we will have a Sunday talk, 11 o'clock in this hall. The title will be Need of an Integration. So integration is required in our personality. That is the subject matter. And how can we do that? What is the need of integration? That is the point. And then next month we will have 4th of July program. 4th of July whole day from 10:30 to 4:30. We will have whole day spiritual retreat with meditation. 6 Swamis from different centers will speak on one subject, that is Catholicity in the message of Swami Vivekananda. That will be the theme this year, and there will be different music, instrumental music, songs in different devotional songs, recitation, etc., etc. So this will be on 4th of July. And on 16th and 17th July, Saturday and Sunday, we will have a meditation workshop in our San Jose Center. That will be also from 10:30 to 4:30. So for that, registration is required. So you have to register in our website and in our monthly bulletin and weekly bulletin. You can find that, and shortly you can find in our Facebook also the link. So these are the 2 programs till now in our pipeline. I request you all to join with your family, friends and acquaintances. As usual, tea and coffee will be served to Sardananda Hall, which will be followed by Prasad luncheon. You all are requested to join. Thank you.